Repetitive actions such as flicking light switches a certain number of times, showering/brushing her teeth in a particular order, placing things in her bedroom in a certain way. She has had 2 courses of private therapy, but neither seemed. Breaking news. Medicines watchdog to investigate UK peptide clinics over health claims. Exclusive, Guardian investigation finds several clinics making potentially unlawful claims about benefits of unregulated therapies. What are peptides? Are they safe, and is there evidence to back up the hype? The medicines regulator is investigating whether UK clinics are breaking the law by making claims about the benefits of unregulated, experimental peptide therapies, The Guardian can reveal. Interest in experimental peptides has boomed in recent years. The substances are delivered by inject. Here's something to make you smile. History class. Why did the Scarecrow win an award? Because he was outstanding in his field. That's all for now. Stay tuned for more updates after a short musical break. Welcome to AI News 24/7. Let's look at today's top stories. Coming up next. Why manatees need humans to slow down and pay attention. These gentle giants forage in shallow waters, primarily along the coast of Florida, and often have fatal encounters with boats. What can be done to help them? Breaking news. Artemis 2 astronauts get a break after journey around the moon. The crew of the NASA mission had a quiet day as they flew home toward Earth. Breaking news. Artemis 2 astronauts head home after a historic journey around the moon. The NASA lunar flyby took the 4 crew members farther from Earth than any humans. They witnessed a solar eclipse and received praise in a call from President Trump. And now, the latest updates. NASA's Artemis 2 astronauts spread moon joy to the public. While science can seem colorless and plain, NASA's lunar crew members have brought expressiveness and emotion about their journey to mission control and the public. In today's top stories. See first photos from NASA's Artemis 2 moon mission capturing a setting Earth and eclipse. The White House and NASA released imagery captured by the cameras of the 4 astronauts of the Artemis 2 mission. Here's something to make you smile. Programmer's life. Why do programmers prefer dark mode? Because light attracts bugs. That's all for now. Stay tuned for more updates after a short musical break. Welcome to AI News 24/7. Let's look at today's top stories. Breaking news. Adam Back denies he is Satoshi Nakamoto in response to Times investigation. Dr. Adam Back has consistently stated that he is not Satoshi Nakamoto, his company said in a statement. What is not speculative is Adam's foundational contribution to Bitcoin. Here's what's happening right now. Oil prices fall, but energy firms remain frozen after US-Iran deal. Analysts said oil and natural gas energy companies would not quickly restore production unless attacks stopped and ships started moving through the Strait of Hormuz. Breaking news. Why gas prices won't fall as quickly as oil prices. The energy industry refers to the behavior of gasoline prices as up like a rocket, down like a feather. Coming up next. Amazon and U.S. Postal Service reach new deal on deliveries after year of talks. Amazon will cut the volume of packages it ships through the Postal Service by 20% under a tentative new deal that will preserve a crucial source of income for the agency. And now, the latest updates. Blue-collar work has plateaued, narrowing options for young workers. Skilled electricians, plumbers and factory workers are in demand, but job openings have dropped. Time for a joke to lighten the mood. Shopping wisdom. Money talks. But all mine ever says is goodbye. That's all for now. Stay tuned for more updates after a short musical break.
Не знаю, как пойдет. Нет,
Все, стрим можно выход закрывать.
нет, ну по факту, я же тебе показал линию, да, что вот линия, вот под под этой линией, мне приоритетно продавать. Приоритетно продавать мне здесь.
То есть ты, образно говоря,
То есть-
эта торговая стратегия основана на линии.
Да, примерно так, на зоне. Вот, кстати,
На
я
какой зоне?
пропустил момент. Вот нужно было здесь закрыть лонги сейчас и оставить шорты, и вытащить эту позицию в прибыль. То есть это
если-
все так делается вот в секундах, в моменте. Но по факту, видишь, пока цена болтается, да, в...
Stay tuned for more updates after a short musical break. Welcome to AI News 24/7. Let's look at today's top stories. Coming up next. U.S. fertility rate drops to all-time low, continuing a two-decade decline. The United States fertility rate has now been in decline for 2 decades, dropping nearly 23% since 2007. Coming up next. Not some piece of ice, Greenland hits back at Trump insult. PM Nielsen calls Greenland a proud nation seeking to maintain global order, after U.S. President calls it piece of ice. Coming up next. UK says 3 Russian submarines tracked during covert operation. British Defence Minister says the operation did not find evidence that Russia had damaged undersea infrastructure. Here's what's happening right now. Zoran Mamdani on 100 days as New York mayor. NYC's mayor reflects on childcare, housing, bigotry, Iran and the future of the Democratic Party. Breaking news. Zoran Mamdani on his first 100 days. 100 days in, NYC Mayor Zoran Mamdani faces a performance review. We asked New Yorkers about his record. And now, a moment of fun. Science fun. A neutron walks into a bar and asks how much for a drink. The bartender says, "For you, no charge." That's all for now. Stay tuned for more updates after a short musical break. Welcome to AI News 24/7. Let's look at today's top stories. And now, the latest updates. Artemis 2 astronauts witnessed 6 meteorites colliding with the moon. The moon gets hit by space debris all the time, but some of it is so large that the impact generates light that can be seen thousands of kilometers away. Coming up next. Top Paramount Plus coupon codes and deals for April 2026. Save on streaming with the latest Paramount Plus promo codes and deals, including 50% off subscriptions, free trials, and more. Breaking news. TurboTax service codes, 30% off TurboTax Full Service Expert, April 2026. Tax season doesn't have to be stressful. Score 30% off Full Service Expert on federal tax filings and more exclusive TurboTax discount codes on Wired. Coming up next. 10% Dell coupon codes, April 2026. Get 10% off with verified Dell promo code, plus today's coupons for up to $600 off laptops, Alienware monitors, and all things tech. Breaking news. Peacock promo codes, 40% off April 2026. Stream your favorite shows for up to $80 off this month, and save on subscription plans with the latest Peacock TV coupons from Wired. Time for a joke to lighten the mood. Coffee break. A programmer's wife tells him, "Go to the store and buy a loaf of bread. If they have eggs, buy a dozen." He comes home with 12 loaves of bread. That's all for now. Stay tuned for more updates after a short musical break. Welcome to AI News 24/7. Let's look at today's top stories. And now, the latest updates. We are fierce competitors. Live Nation case reaches closing arguments. 34 states accused the concert giant of suffocating competition and driving up ticket prices. The company denies being anything but big. And now, the latest updates. MoMA survey shows how Marcel Duchamp changed the art game. Marcel Duchamp flipped the notion of art's value on its head. We need foundation shaking badly today, our critic says, and a sweeping survey at MoMA is an arresting reminder. In today's top stories. Faces of Death review, is it real? Does it matter? A meta-remake of the 1978 horror cult classic is more about how we watch than what we watch. And now, the latest updates. Pink will host the 2026 Tony Awards. Songs by the pop singer-songwriter are part of the Broadway shows and Juliet and Moulin Rouge. The musical. And now, the latest updates. You, Me and Tuscany review, Love in the Italian Countryside. Halle Bailey and Regina Page star in this fumbling romantic comedy, complete with vineyard romping, barrel racing, and a sexy serenade. Let's take a quick humor break. Coffee break. A programmer's wife tells him, go to the store and buy a loaf of bread. If they have eggs, buy a dozen. He comes home with 12 loaves of bread. That's all for now. Stay tuned for more updates after a short musical break. Welcome to AI News 24/7. Let's look at today's top stories. And now, the latest updates. My father-in-law lives with my young family, but I don't want to sandwich parent. What should I do? Leading questions. You don't have to compromise your or your child's well-being, advice columnist Eleanor Gordon-Smith writes. Whatever happens, you need better information going forward. Read more leading questions at my suggestion. My husband and I moved his father to live in a granny annex of our home. This was for two reasons. First, he was experiencing health issues and getting visibly older, and we thought he'd end up needing to live with us eventually. Second, we wanted to start a family, and I naively t. Here's what's happening right now. Why does alcohol make us both happy and miserable, and what else does it do to our minds and bodies? It sends us to sleep and wakes us in the night, excites us and depresses us, gives us confidence one moment, anxiety the next. How does this messy drug wield so much power? Whatever you think of alcohol, you have to admit that it's versatile. Ever since the first humans started smashing up fruit and leaving it in pots to chug a few days later, we've been relying on it to celebrate and commiserate, to deal with anxiety and to make us more creative. We use it to build confidence and kill burrito. Second, we wanted to start a family and I naively tea. In today's top stories. My mother has been overpaid her civil service pension and ordered to repay it. Through no fault of their own, she faces repaying £100 a month until she is 93 or face legal action. My 66-year-old mother has been told that she has been overpaid her civil service pension by £40,000 and must repay it, or face legal action. Once the tax she's paid on the income is deducted, she owes £32,000. Her monthly pension payments have now been cut, which means her annual income will fall from £19,700 to £12,000, and she was, additionally, ordered to repay £496 a month for 5 years. T. And now, the latest updates. The unlikely appeal of barefoot hiking, it makes you feel quite primal. From clay trails in Seoul to remote Australian coastlines, a small but growing number of hikers are hitting the trail unshod. But what happens when you feel the ground beneath your feet? Get our weekend culture and lifestyle email. When Jen Blade set out to hike South Korea's Namsan Dulgil Trail, she didn't expect to be slipping her boots off halfway along the track. An outdoor education lecturer and researcher based in Castlemaine, Victoria, Blades was tackling the 147 km trail in Seoul, WH. Here's what's happening right now. Cars make way for bikes as Sydney commuters saddle up to circumvent crazy fuel costs. The shock of the oil crisis is playing out on Australian streets, where bike sales are up and cycle lanes are busier. Track current petrol and diesel prices across Australia. Get our breaking news email, free app, or daily news podcast. Before the 1970s global oil crisis, city planners in Copenhagen were considering removing bike lanes. Bicycles were considered outdated. Now car was king, and just 10% of locals were cycling regularly. But as economic shock waves reverberated around the world, Den. And now, a moment of fun. Weather report. What's the difference between weather and climate? You can't weather a tree, but you can climb it. That's all for now. Stay tuned for more updates after a short musical break.
Afraid to let go. You decide if you're ever gonna let me know. Yeah, suicide if you ever try to let go. I'm sad, I know, yeah. I'm sad, I know, yeah. Who am I? Someone that's afraid to let go. You decide if you're ever gonna let me know. Yeah, suicide if you ever try to let go. I'm sad, I know, yeah. I'm sad, I know, yeah. Guy gave her everything. She took my heart and left me. Broken hearts contagious. I won't fix, I'd rather weep. I'm lost and I'm found, but it's torture being in love. I love when you're around, but I fucking hate when you leave. Who am I? Someone that's afraid to let go. You decide if you're ever gonna let me know. Yeah, suicide if you ever try to let go. I'm sad, I know, yeah. I'm sad, I know.
Welcome to AI News 24/7. Let's look at today's top stories. In today's top stories, wild chimpanzees recorded waging civil war with coordinated attacks between two groups. New study describes what may be the first case of a unified community of chimps in Uganda, turning on itself on a June day in 2015. Primatologist Aaron Sandell was quietly observing a small cluster of the Ngogo chimpanzee group in Uganda's Kabale National Park when he noticed something strange. As other members of the chimpanzee's wider group moved closer through the forest, the chimpanzees in front of him began to display nervous behavior. they grimaced and touched each other for reassurance. Here's what's happening right now. Is space exploration worth the money and effort? Letters. Readers respond to an article by Zoe Williams in which she argued the space race was pointless. Zoe Williams speaks for many of us when she notes that the US space mission is pointless. Let's stop going into space. There's nothing to see and no one to talk to. April 7th. Unfortunately, it is worse than that. With a $100 billion budget, the Artemis program represents a truly spectacular misdirection of human creativity and resources. The UN World Food Program, before it was cut back by Donald Tr. And now, the latest updates. Woman with 3 deadly diseases has remarkable recovery after cell therapy. Treatment reset wayward immune system of patient with life-threatening conditions, say scientists. In a world first, a woman who lived with 3 life-threatening autoimmune diseases for more than a decade has returned to a near-normal life after a cell therapy reset her wayward immune system. The 47-year-old had had 9 different treatments, none of which had a lasting impact, before receiving the therapy last year at University Hospital Erlangen in Germany. At the time, she required daily B. And now, the latest updates. Stephen Lilly on the return of the Artemis II crew, cartoon. Continue reading. And now, the latest updates. NASA meteorologists trialing model to produce ultra-local, short-term forecasts. Improved short-term forecasts could be a lifesaver for NASA and important for organizers of events such as Wimbledon. Meteorologists are working on ever longer range predictions, but they have not neglected ultra-local, ultra-short-term forecasts for specific purposes. This month, meteorologists at NASA's Wallops Flight Facility in Virginia announced trials with a high-resolution weather model called US-1K developed by Mediamatics. The developers claim that this model has a resolution 9 times. And now, a little humor break. Doctor's visit. Patient, doctor, I feel like nobody listens to me. Doctor, next, please. That's all for now. Stay tuned for more updates after a short musical break. Welcome to AI News 24/7. Let's look at today's top stories. And now, the latest updates. White House and crypto industry fight bank lobby over stablecoin income. The Trump administration backed a proposal for stablecoin issuers to offer yield to investors. In today's top stories. Oil prices edge higher as confidence in ceasefire wavers. Investors were in a more sober mood after sharp moves on the previous day. Here's what's happening right now. Is the Strait of Hormuz reopening? What to know under Iran ceasefire? Vessels are wary of passing the coast of Iran and the Strait, given the fragile agreement, and the number of ships traveling through it has even dropped. Here's what's happening right now. Volkswagen to end EV production at Tennessee plant. The German carmaker is the latest to scale back plans for electric vehicles in favor of gasoline models. Breaking news. IMF says Iran war will drag global growth lower. Kristalina Georgieva, the head of the International Monetary Fund, said the war in the Middle East could lead to another bout of inflation and higher interest rates. And now, a little humor break. Shopping wisdom. Money talks. But all mine ever says is goodbye. That's all for now. Stay tuned for more updates after a short musical break.
I'm a mess, 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 mess. I'm a mess, 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 mess. I'm a mess in distress, but we're still the best. Stress, fearless, say yes. We don't dress to impress. 괜찮단 뭐래도 거짓말인 걸 다 알아. 괜찮겠지 뭐래도 착한 얼굴에 네 말 잘 들을 땐 괜찮잖아 그런 건.
Welcome to AI News 24/7. Let's look at today's top stories. Coming up next. Half of Gen Z uses AI, but their feelings are souring, study shows. A new study from Gallup found that young adults have grown less hopeful and more angry about artificial intelligence. And now, the latest updates. The Big Bang, AI, has created a code overload. Companies are scrambling to deal with the glut. And now, the latest updates. Federal court denies Anthropic's motion to lift supply chain risk label. The ruling was a setback for the artificial intelligence startup in its battle with the Defense Department over the use of AI in warfare. In today's top stories. Meta unveils new AI model, its first from the Superintelligence Lab. The model, Muse Spark, performed better than Meta's previous AI models but lags rivals on coding ability. In today's top stories. The revival of the fashion tech love affair. Get ready for the return of wearables and a new stage in the fashion tech relationship. Time for a joke to lighten the mood. School days. Teacher, if I gave you 2 cats and another 2 cats, how many would you have? Student, 5. Teacher, how? Student, I already have 1 cat at home. That's all for now. Stay tuned for more updates after a short musical break.
try to let go, I'm sad, I know, yeah. I'm sad, I know, yeah. Who am I? Someone that's afraid to let go, you decide if you're ever gonna let me know, yeah. Suicide if you ever try to let go, I'm sad, I know, yeah. I'm sad, I know, yeah. Guy gave her everything, she took my heart and left me lonely. I think broken hearts contagious. I won't fix, I'd rather weep. I'm lost and I'm found, but it's torture being in love. I love when you're around, but I fucking hate when you leave. Who am I? Someone that's afraid to let go, you decide if you're ever gonna let me know, yeah. Suicide if you ever try to let go, I'm sad, I know, yeah. I'm sad, I know, yeah. Who am I? Someone that's afraid to let go, you decide if you're ever gonna let me know, yeah. Suicide if you ever try to let go, I'm sad, I know, yeah. I'm sad, I know, yeah.
Welcome to AI News 24/7. Let's look at today's top stories. Breaking news. The Guardian view on reversing the two-child benefit limit, a moment to celebrate, editorial. More is needed to tackle inequality and deprivation in Britain, but the importance of this week's step must be recognized. Fairness was what the then Chancellor George Osborne said he was aiming at when he introduced the two-child benefit cap. Each child costs a family more, he argued, and yet only some consider the full costs when family planning. It was an ungenerous take, reducing the complex reasons why people might have larger families to poor choices and welfare incentivization, and IGNO. In today's top stories. Amazon upsets ebook lovers by ending support for old Kindle devices. Up to 2 ME readers made before 2013 will no longer be able to download new titles. Amazon is to stop supporting older Kindle models, leaving longtime ebook fans unable to access new content from the Kindle store. Devices released during or before 2012 will no longer receive updates from May 20th, affecting owners of older Kindles, including the earliest models such as the Touch and some Fire tablets. It is thought that 2 ME readers could be affected. Kindle First Generation, 2007, Kindle D. Breaking news. OpenAI shelves Stargate UK in blow to Britain's AI ambitions. Artificial intelligence company cites high energy costs and regulation for putting landmark project on hold. OpenAI has put on hold plans for a landmark UK investment citing high energy costs and regulation, in a blow to the government which has put AI at the center of its growth strategy. Stargate UK was a part of the UK-US AI deal announced last September, in which US companies appeared to commit £31 billion to the UK's tech sector, part of a larger series of investments intended to mainline AI. Coming up next. UK to give £380 million grant to Tata Battery Factory in Somerset. Investment in plant due to supply batteries to Jaguar Land Rover expected to boost economic growth and secure jobs. The Somerset Battery Factory due to supply Jaguar Land Rover is to receive £380 million in UK government funding as it pushes ahead with construction despite delays. JLR, Britain's largest automotive employer, is due to receive batteries from the site to make electric versions of its Range Rover and Jaguar models. The Indian conglomerate Tata owns JLR and the electric vehicle, EV, BAT. And now, the latest updates. Lidl to open 50 UK stores in year ahead, and its first pub. Almost 2,000 jobs will be created, with retailer vying to overtake Morrisons as Britain's fifth largest supermarket. Lidl is to open 50 new UK stores in the year ahead, as well as its first pub, as it aims to overtake Morrisons as the country's fifth largest supermarket chain. The German-owned retailer has begun building a pub in East Belfast in response to strict local licensing laws that cap the number of premises that can sell alcohol. Continue reading. And now, a little humor break. Cooking fail. I burnt my Hawaiian pizza today. I should have put it on a low temperature. That's all for now. Stay tuned for more updates after a short musical break.
but we're still the best. Dress fearless, say yes, we don't dress to impress. 괜찮단 뭐래도 거짓말인 걸 다 알아. 괜찮겠지 뭐래도 착한 얼굴에 네 말 잘 들을 때 괜찮잖아 그런 건 내 룰은 나만 정할래 yeah. 볼 거야 금지는 걸 Never hold back 더 자유롭게 Boom 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 내 심장이 뛰네 Get it like boom 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 Get it like boom 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 내 심장이 뛰네 Get it like boom boom.
Welcome to AI News 24/7. Let's look at today's top stories. In today's top stories, Khamenei says Tehran astonished the world during U.S.-Israeli war on Iran. In a statement read out on television, Mojtaba Khamenei said Tehran will demand compensation for war damages. Here's what's happening right now. Iran, Strait of Hormuz open with restrictions. Iran's deputy foreign minister says the Strait of Hormuz is open but ships must coordinate with Iranian forces. Breaking news. Saudi Arabia says operational activities halted at several energy sites. Attacks on energy facilities cause a reduced supply and slow recovery, a Saudi official tells state news agency. Here's what's happening right now. U.S. fertility rate drops to all-time low, continuing a two-decade decline. The United States fertility rate has now been in decline for 2 decades, dropping nearly 23% since 2007. Breaking news. Why is Hezbollah a sticking point in the Iran ceasefire? Lebanese armed group is an ally of Tehran but still under attack from Israel. And now, a moment of fun. Fitness humor. I don't need a personal trainer. I need someone to follow me around and slap unhealthy food out of my hands. That's all for now. Stay tuned for more updates after a short musical break.